What's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. Welcome back. We're doing another episode here of Walking Dead Weekly. We are back with a brand new season, and it is all out war. We've been waiting all off season for this. We got a brand new panel. We can't wait to break it down for you guys. We'll see you in just 1 second.
You're tuning into the destination for TV super fan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. Let the buzz begin.
What's up, everybody? Wow, that was great.
That was really fun. That was a great way to start the episode.
Beautiful comic timing. What's up? Welcome to the show, guys. This is so exciting. We're back. We're back. It's been a long off season. Actually, you guys have been here the entire time on this show.
We have.
I take that back. Yeah, but I'm back.
Yeah, welcome back, Ben.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm excited. And this is Weird Al. If anybody was confused what was going on in the episode, because unless you watched it with subtitles, it was unclear what was going on.
Yes.
And I think you could have been mistaken and thought that we were listening to Queen.
Yeah.
But we weren't. We were just listening to a classic, a song that I grew up with listening to all the time. I think this sounds like Dare to Be Stupid, like 1988. I had this CD.
Yeah, these two are obsessed with it. I'm still like, okay, great.
Yeah. I mean, full disclosure, it's totally obnoxious.
Oh, of course.
And I liked it when I was like 7, but, I'm happy to see it come back.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Anyway, guys, this is Walking Dead Weekly here on AfterBuzz TV. We can probably, tune the music down a little bit here. It's pretty obnoxious. And we're talking about Walking Dead. We're back. It's season 8, Mercy, first episode. This is huge.
Yeah.
We've got an all-out war going on. We got a brand new panel because worlds collide right now.
Seriously.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we had our crossover before they did.
Yeah,
Well,
seriously.
a crossover episode we thought was coming, and then it wasn't.
And then it never did.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's still coming. We
Yeah.
just don't know when.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you are watching or you're listening and you're confused at all to what's going on, AfterBuzz TV has now moved to a model where all of the different shows live on different unique YouTube channels to accommodate their genre. There's drama, there's comedy, there's reality, all these things. So we now have a year-round show called Walking Dead Weekly, like you can see on the title, and the old Walking Dead after show that I was on, and the Fear the Walking Dead after show that they were on, and the old Fear the Walking Dead after show that I used to be on, which I stopped doing, is now all one show. And it runs all year round, so you get Walking Dead news, you get an after show for the show, iTunes, the whole deal. So here we are. This is the very first episode of Walking Dead Weekly covering actual Walking Dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Really exciting. I'm so
Yeah.
excited to see where this goes.
So where can the people find your excitement if they want to follow along?
If you want to find my excitement, as Ben says, I am Timothy Michael. You can find me everywhere at I am Timothy Mike.
And I am Natalee Dyer, and you can find me at Natalee Dyer, NATALEEDYER, on all social media platforms.
You guys can find me at Ben Bateman Media, Twitter, Instagram, what have you. We promised Dariel Christian will be back next week. He just couldn't make it tonight. He's doing cool stuff. He's super famous and stuff. And we're going to break down the whole episode for you guys. So I just say we jump straight in because there's a lot to cover.
Definitely.
Yes.
Were you guys happy, first of all, that this wasn't like one of the crazy hour, 45-minute extended episodes?
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
too.
I was glad it wasn't a two-hour.
I thought they got a little trigger happy the last 2 seasons with that.
Definitely. And with Fear, they were doing that for
They were
the
book ending it.
the season premiere, the mid-season finale, the mid-season premiere, and
Right.
the season finale. It was too much.
It's
Yeah.
not that I don't enjoy the show. It's just that it just doesn't feel necessary. It's not like
Right.
TV used to do that. TV
Yeah.
didn't used to have 12 episode or even the shortened 9 episode half seasons where 3 of the episodes are the length of a feature film.
Yeah.
That wasn't how it
Right.
used to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Plus,
No.
it allows for build up, excitement for the next episode.
Exactly. I completely agree. I think that them doing 2 hours in the first episode just eliminates the what's the word I'm looking for?
Anticipation?
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Less is more, right?
Yes.
So absolutely. So I thought this was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. We had a lot of talk, phrases that were all thrown throughout. There was 3 timelines that looked like happening.
Yes.
So I think let's just start with the 3 timelines because
Yeah.
that's the most
Sure.
prominent theme that ran through the episode. So we have the here and now, which is where we pick up from last season and a plan to overthrow Negan, take down the Saviors. Rick giving a sweet speech to the gang. I love that when Ezekiel came in giving his part of the speech, the music totally changed to dramatic action movie music,
Yeah.
like when you give a speech about to go in to do something awesome, and I got really pumped up, you know what I mean?
Right.
I thought that was great.
Oh, Ezekiel. Everybody who views this show will slowly come to find out that Ezekiel, I just find he's just too much. He's just overly
love it.
prophetic, and I'm just like, I just cannot. He's the same as if we're gonna do Fear the Walking Dead bounce back. He's the same as what's his face for me? Coleman Domingo's character.
You
who does-
like Strand?
No, he's no. I don't like.
Do you not like Strand?
He's my favorite character.
Like no, like
Okay.
Strand is he's just too much sometimes for me, and that's how I feel about Ezekiel.
Yeah.
I just can't.
It's theatrical.
Thank you.
But the difference is that Strand, I guess, we shouldn't talk too much about fear, cause
Right, of
obviously
course.
that's a show. But I think the difference there is that Ezekiel it's an act to inspire his people, and he is just a regular ass dude.
Right.
But he was like a theater performer, so he's trying to channel that to get his people inspired.
Yeah.
When push comes to shove, I think everybody knows it's kind of an act, but it gets them going, gets them pumped up.
It got us pumped up.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I was pumped.
It worked.
I was totally
It works.
pumped up. So we have this whole speech going on, and then we're cutting back and forth between two other timelines. The prominent one that we got to see was what looked like a flash forward. And before we go too far into that, I should just remind everybody here listening or watching. So we cover The Walking Dead, the show. I've read all the comics. I'm up to date on the comics. We've had panelists in the past and guests who are up to date as well. There's a lot of stuff going on there because it's kind of like Game of Thrones where it jumps forward. We don't do that stuff during the show. I'll be as vague as possible. At the end of the episode, if there is ever a point that I want to make and bring up with you guys, we'll give a spoiler alert for the last minute or two of the episode if we just want to talk about it. But in general, we're going to just talk about the show.
Yeah.
So we had seen teases of this time jump, in the previews for the season.
Right.
In the trailer. And I think it's... One thing that I thought was really funny is that, so his hair is more gray, Rick.
Yeah.
And you see that baby Judith is older.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, she was older
like-
twice in this episode.
5.
Yeah.
She was like
She looked like
3
about-
or 4, and then jumped up to about 6, I would say.
It felt to me like they were going for around a 2-year
Okay.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I think when you see her and she's a little older during the episode in present day, she felt like she was probably in like the 3-ish range to me.
When she's sitting and coloring. On
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
And I would say she feels about 5 in the time jump. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I feel like it's a lot longer than that. For Rick to be all gray and stuff like that, I feel like he's aged at least 5 years.
I just thought she looked she was either 5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean, for Rick, though, what I think is interesting about that is, like, he couldn't have aged that much. And even
No.
5 years wouldn't turn all of his hair gray and make him look like
Right.
an old
No,
man.
it wouldn't,
Right.
And she would be older than.
Yeah,
Which is why I think it's more of like a
yeah.
delusion or a dream for him.
You think it's a dream?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I just thought what was funny is that they only like had us listen to Carl's voice rather than seeing Carl. Because I feel like
Yeah.
if we saw Carl, we would have been able to really pinpoint
Yeah, it's a good point.
how many years has passed.
I hadn't thought about it being a dream. Okay, well, we'll skip that for now.
Sure. We can definitely go back to that.
But so yeah, we do see Rick have like a straight military crew cut, which I thought was really funny because the grayness is there, but the military crew cut makes him feel way older.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Right?
That's why I'm a little confused because I'm like, you guys say, oh, it's only been like 2 or 3 years. I'm like, it's got to be more than 5 years, guys, because he just looked really old, like Moses old.
Yeah, so I think the crew cut could have just been like, he just wants, I think that's why to me he feels like it's 2 years, but they're just intentionally making you confused by giving him the crew cut.
Maybe.
Because that's the only thing, other than like the severely gray hair. But I mean, he
Right.
goes through a stressful situation,
Yeah.
so that could be why.
I mean, but
very
then we
true.
look at Michonne, and Michonne hasn't aged a day,
yeah,
and
right.
black don't crack. So I mean,
Glad you said it. 'Cause
I
was
mean,
gonna-
I mean, we gotta say it. I mean, this just proves the theory that black don't crack. Because if it has been about 5 to 10 years and Michonne still looks the same, I'm like, guys, what's that?
Right.
Well,
Like,
Rick was also using a cane, which I thought
oh, that's
was
another thing.
interesting.
Yeah.
Since he doesn't have a limp now.
Yeah, he's using a cane, and they're clearly at that point in this like. Well, we don't know if it's a flash forward. I hadn't really thought about it being a dream. To me, it just seemed like it was a flash forward because of the way that they used it in the preview, and then they went to it so many times.
Right.
Nothing about it seemed out of the ordinary or weird. It wasn't like anything surreal was going on.
The way I saw it was that it's what he's fighting for.
Yeah,
Is that normalcy.
that makes sense.
I feel like the cane, because they zoomed in on the handle of the cane quite a bit in that flash forward or fantasy or dream or whatever we want to call it. I feel like we have to look for something like that throughout the season to see
Yeah.
if that's exactly what it was.
Where he'll be, right? Yeah.
Like
I
if he
mean-
gets like his leg is injured or shot or something like that, because I immediately thought that it was because of what's her face who from the Scavengers who shot him in the season 7 finale.
Right.
But that was in the side. It didn't really affect his leg. So I don't know. I'm gonna be looking all season like, where is his leg gonna get hurt?
Do we have something going on in the chat?
Mandrid Hugh says it has to be a flash forward. I doubt someone as edgy as Rick would ever have listened to Weird Al. I love that.
So the other one that we've seen a little bit of, and this one is a little more harder. It seems a bit harder to pinpoint. Looks like Rick's in like a church or something. There's stained glass behind him.
Right.
He's teared up. He's got red eyes. His hair is a little longer, so it looks like it's closer to the present. And in the end, after we cut to it a couple different times, he says the line that Carl hears early in the episode, which is, where is it? The thing about mercy is, oh yeah, may my mercy prevail over my wrath.
Yeah.
Right? He says mercy has prevailed over wrath or something like that. So, what do we think? I think the obvious conclusion to draw from that would be that he doesn't kill Negan.
Right.
Because the one interesting thing that the episode opens with is that, like, he's just so blood hungry.
Yeah.
And there's moments when he's talking that you kind of feel like he's a little bit becoming Negan. Not like he's becoming a dictator, but his attitude, which is like, we have to kill everyone, except Negan's the only one that absolutely must die. You know, like,
right.
which is, you know, that's not like a just way of living. It can't be eye for an eye, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I disagree. I feel like in this world, in this apocalyptic realm, I feel like that is the proper way to you know, dignify justice, an eye for an eye. I mean, you know, I feel like an eye for an eye would be him going in and killing Negan and then killing all of Negan's people and then, like, you know, just eliminating them all, whereas he just wants Negan. He just wants Negan dead, and maybe just killing the Root would eliminate everybody else.
I think he wants to be better than Negan, though. I think in this moment, he's being brought down to Negan's level because he's so rageful. But I think at the end of the day, the Rick that we know... Well, I shouldn't say the Rick we know, actually. I think the Rick that we believe will be at the end of his arc when this show is over is a just Rick. It's not a crazy Rick. It's not a Rick who's a dictator. It's a Rick that would, I don't know, spare Negan's life but imprison him, or... I don't know. I don't know how you would do it.
I don't know. I don't think Rick wanting to kill Negan makes him a dictator or makes him evil. I think that makes Rick smart for trying to kill Negan.
Yeah, take it out. I mean, that's fair. If he kills
Yeah.
Negan, I'm not going to think Rick's evil.
Yeah,
But
right.
Potentially, though, would you be offering up the you kill someone else has to kill one of your people? So you're going back and forth, which brings you to the mercy. And if you have mercy, then you're not necessarily continuing the cycle.
Yeah.
I believe in mercy to a certain extent. I think when it comes to Negan, you can't extend mercy because you won't get any back. I feel like with a person like Negan, you have to cut them down or else they'll just keep coming back. And you have to set an example. Negan's all about showing examples and showing people, you know, how to... You have to do something in order to gain respect. And I'm not saying that Rick should live by that example, but Negan is just one of those people that you just can't let stay around because he will be at the one on your side for the rest of your life.
It's fair, yeah. But so, long story short, my thought would be that in the moment that he says mercy has prevailed over wrath, I think he spares Negan in that moment. That's what I think it is. I think we're seeing the now, the middle point, and the future. That would just be my guess, but...
Sure.
With the stained glass one, I don't know. Rick looks really distraught in
He
those,
does.
and I was thinking that he doesn't kill Negan, and he's... In my mind, what I'm looking at is, I feel like if the camera were to zoom out, we would see like Nick on his knees, and Negan's got a gun to his head.
Nick?
Rick.
Rick.
Rick on his knees.
Yeah, Rick is on his knees, and Negan has a gun to
Because he
his head.
spared Negan, and then Negan tries to kill him. Maybe.
Yeah.
Something.
Or the plan is like the plan didn't work out and they didn't kill Negan at all and it just fell through, which is partially why my like stomach was in my throat this entire episode, because I was like, just based on that, I was like, something bad's gonna happen.
Right. I don't think that they would structure the show in a way that would make Rick get egg on his face again, because so much of the last season was about that.
Yeah.
They're really, I think really at this point with this show, they're in like pretty hot water because they've exhausted the whole idea of just survival.
Yeah.
And they've also exhausted the idea of basically an unbeatable, unkillable threat in Negan now. Because we've got they've lost so much. The show got literally as dark and as violent as you could possibly ever imagine it would get. To the point even that the producers have gone on record and saying the season will be less violent because fans did not react as well as they wanted to the Glenn stuff. So then... Now we're at this point where it's like, all right, we have this season to clear out the threat. And I don't think they can stretch the Negan threat. I mean, they've gone on record saying that storyline's going to conclude this season. So the show has to have somewhere to go after this. It has to reinvent itself. We've been talking about it for 2 years now. There's got to be something, which is why it leads me to believe the time jump's a time jump, not a dream. Because I think you have to move the show into a new sort of like part of it. Like we've been saying forever that it's Carl's show. It's not Rick's show. It's Rick's story, but ultimately Carl's like the hero. He's the person you're supposed to follow because he'll be the guy like... Eventually Rick will probably die at the end of the show and Carl will be the one that survives and like lives on.
And they alluded to that in this episode when Michonne was like, you know, it's your show. And that just proves that if Rick does die, Carl will lead, which I didn't really necessarily agree with. I know we'll talk about it, but
Yeah.
just in that moment, I didn't agree with that.
So let's move on a little bit to the other characters because there's a lot of interesting stuff here. So I think we start with Maggie as there's one really great moment in this show, in this episode, for me with Maggie and Rick, right? And that's the moment where he says, after this, I'm following you. They've been building towards Maggie being the leader of the Hilltop for quite a while. At this point, she felt like the de facto leader.
Yeah.
It was great to have Gregory say this stuff. This Hilltop stands with Negan. And finally, Jesus to just say the Hilltop stands with Maggie. And
Yeah.
Rick to say that to her. I thought that was so great. I got like a little emotional, like a fist bump moment.
So did I. It's a well-deserved win because Maggie has been covering for Gregory and making up for his lack of leadership in so many ways that I was like, how did this person Gregory become a leader in the first place without anybody questioning him? And then here comes Maggie from a totally different world, if you will, and she knows real leadership in Rick and sees the lack of leadership in Gregory. So it was just a matter of time before she took over the Hilltop. I'm just glad, like you, Ben, that it's established now.
Right.
Yeah, it was a good moment. It was a big win.
I was expecting two things from that moment: either someone to shoot Gregory
Right. Yep.
and just
Me
like
too.
pop him out, or what happened. And I was very glad that it went that direction because it was more empowering toward Maggie.
Right. Now he's got nowhere to go, kind of.
Right.
He'll be out in the wilderness.
In theory.
We've been saying forever on our panel that, or I should just say I've been saying that, Xander Berkeley, who plays Gregory, is the ultimate shit weasel. Forever. Like, even if you go back to like his movie career in the 90s, like he's the jerk dad in Terminator 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's the Secret Service agent that betrays Harrison Ford in Air Force One.
He just has that face.
He's just that guy. He's always...
just typecast, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's very nice in real life.
I've never met him, but I promise you if I ever get to interview Xander Berkeley, I'm going to tell him that he's the ultimate shit weasel. Just kidding. I probably won't really.
Yeah,
But I'll
Xander Berkeley, if you're watching, come on our show.
Yeah, I'll see if
Please.
I'll see if I can work it into the conversation somehow.
Yeah.
I'll bet you he'd have some sense of humor about it because he's played a lot of, shit weasels.
Yeah.
So that's a great Maggie Rick moment. I thought that was nice. That's like the only major Maggie moment we really get in the episode. Mm-hmm. This episode was a little disjointed in that sense that we didn't get a lot of moments with most of the characters. It was all very, very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love with Maggie just her female empowerment moment when she was like, I can fight through the second trimester. Because we almost forget that she's pregnant because Natalie had said when we were watching it or commented that she's still so skinny.
Yeah, she is.
Obviously, probably because of lack of food. They don't really have an abundant amount of food. But I love that she's all gung-ho about, yes, I'm pregnant and in this delicate condition, but she's
Right.
like, I'm fighting for something because that's what Glenn would want her to do.
She'll have to slow down pretty soon here.
Maybe.
She's going to have a child. She's going to have to.
Maybe.
Which is maybe
We don't
why,
know.
Well, I mean, maybe that's why she is becoming the leader of Hilltop, and she can kind of take a step back and just direct rather than
Be protected by her
be
people.
the.
I don't know. I honestly don't think they
front
could have
charge.
2 children on the show.
Yeah, we've said that before.
Okay.
We've wondered about perhaps her birthing a zombie baby. Yeah, that's
Maybe
fun.
not
Yeah.
that dark. I was thinking maybe she just like miscarried, but geez.
think
Well,
about
that
it.
would still become a.
Zombie baby.
Oh, that's true.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
it
but she
depends on
wouldn't
how
birth
far
it. It would
along.
have died, or
Unless
No,
Unless it
maybe
was a stillborn.
It would depend upon like how long.
Yeah, that's
Getting
in
real
her
dark.
I know
trimesters.
we're going in it, you guys. I need an OBGYN right here on this panel right now.
Yeah, it was bad.
We can call my sister. She's a nurse who works specifically with birthing babies. So.
So let's talk a little bit about this moment that Carl has with the rando.
Yeah.
This guy who we don't really see much of. I didn't recognize the actor. He wasn't somebody who stood out to me.
No.
For a second there, I thought maybe we were getting like a really big cameo because his voice from a distance sounded a little bit like Riz Ahmed from The Night Before and from Rogue One.
Yeah.
And even when you see him at first and he's shadowed,
Yeah.
he does look a little like Riz Ahmed, but then it wasn't.
No.
He
And
still looked familiar to me for some reason.
Did he?
I couldn't place it.
so, and then, he's saying that he has like a weird story that he tells when he's yelling at Carl, and he's like, someone threw a microwave at me. I'll go to the advice that my mother said. And the one thing was invest your was it your money or in the Traveler?
Yeah.
And then may my mercy prevail over my wrath. And then Rick shoots over his head and he runs off, and Carl says to Rick, there won't, we don't have enough hope.
Yeah.
Right? I thought that was a weird line for Carl to say to Rick. What do you guys think?
In general, I loved this moment because we are so focused on these main characters and these other sub characters that we always forget that there's still people out there that are going
Right.
through this apocalypse, and they are alone and they are just starving and they're just looking for food, and they're not part of a group or a faction or a dictatorship. They're just on their own. And I love that and I hope they continue to do it throughout the season, showing us that there are people out there that aren't really involved in this war. And I feel like when Carl said, the line about hope, I feel like that's all people want in this. No matter if you're going through a war or not, like, you're in a zombie apocalypse. We need hope that this will end at some point.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think we're at a point now where so many of the people that were out there are dead now. If they're by themselves, they've joined a group, or they're dead. Because I think it's pretty hard. I don't know how much time has passed in the story since the outbreak. I know there's probably somebody in the chat knows this.
Yeah.
It was like 800 days, I think.
Yeah.
I was looking it up earlier.
People talk about it sometimes. So I know that it's over 2 years. I mean, specifically how long, I'm not sure. A lot of the walkers have deteriorated to the point that it is like, yeah.
That was a weird transition from Fear, where they're not as, like, disgusting.
Decomposed.
Decomposed.
Yeah, they're a lot newer.
Switching back to this one.
And then, that's a video. Single? What's this? I can't read. I'm blind.
Oh, she's probably talking about you, Ben.
No,
Aubrey, I think, has a crush on you.
No, that's not who she's talking about. Can you? Somebody...
Really? I haven't seen him as the same kid from second season.
She's saying Aubrey. Yes, she does.
Yeah, it's kind of out of character for Carl. He's normally cold-hearted. I have a crush on the host.
Oh, that is me. Never mind. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. I didn't mean to call you out either. Hi. Lost my train of thought.
Clearly.
We're talking about how many days.
And how much time it's been. So 800 days. And so I think that at this point, if somebody is out there and they're by themselves, like, it's been 2.5 years. If you haven't joined up with a group, or you're not just like, you don't just have like immaculate skills of survival, you're probably dead.
Well, here's my thing, which I found interesting, and why Rick scared him away, and it's probably because Rick has too many other things on his mind. But if we go back to where, like, the prison season and stuff like that, Rick used to take people in. He used to want to convert people because he used to believe, more numbers, the better chances of survival. But now he's like, he doesn't trust anybody, which I understand. Like, he says it, he could be one of them. But at this point, I wouldn't really, just throw them to the wayside. I would at least try to vet them like they used to, and asking them the 3 questions. How many people have you killed?
Right.
Blah, blah, all that stuff, to vet them.
It's more on my theory of Rick becoming more like Negan. As I'm trying to tell you, I don't think he is Negan yet, but I think there is a point, like sort of a point of no return people pass, and I think Rick is dangerously close to passing that point. Even if you think about the episode when they go into the bunker and they kill everyone and take their weapons.
Yeah.
That was like 2 seasons ago, I think. And at the time when that episode happened, it was very startling because we hadn't seen that kind of violence from our characters.
Yeah.
We were like, wow, you guys were just like in cold blood, just murdering people. They had
In their sleep,
really hard time with it. This episode was just like no mercy. They just were killing, walk up, stab the guy, walk up, stab the guy. Like, if they're with Negan, they have to die because we have to win. And as much as that's necessary to win the fight, I also think that Rick is a little bit in, like, he's blood drunk a little. He's a little bit in I have to kill Negan mode, and he's not thinking about the fact that there are still people out there, and who that guy could be someone, and he could be one of our numbers to help us. And I don't think he doesn't have the time nor the patience to deal with that at the moment.
Do you feel like they're losing a little bit of their humanity when they do this?
Definitely, 100%. But again, I think that's kind of where we're at. I don't think you can avoid losing your humanity if you need to win a war, like a bloodbath.
Do you think that they will then go through sort of the same flow that Carol went through and Morgan went through, where they revert to not killing at all?
They come out the other end.
Yeah.
I think
find
there's
a happy middle, I guess.
I think that there is going to, I mean, this gets into predictions sort of territory, but like what I think will happen, and again, I speak 100% from just what I expect will happen, not like necessarily what happens in the comic book, but what I believe will happen is that this is a war that has to be fought. And the producers have gone on record and said that this is a war that's going to be fought this whole season. The season's called All Out War. Even the billboards have all just been about the war.
Yeah.
So we're going to get a whole, or at least a half season of this, right?
Yeah.
Well, and this episode definitely set it up as this is a war that needs to happen.
So I think it's going to be very taxing on our characters. I think we're going to take losses, and I think there's going to be moments of breakthrough for characters, and I think there's going to be broken characters. And if what I'm guessing is correct, is that flash forward is a couple years after all this happens, I think Rick has moved into a little bit of a less violent, more evolved. There has to be a way to like live in this world, kind of. That's what that scene feels like.
Yeah.
To me. Yeah.
Just speaking on the present, I feel like based on this episode alone, they are more organized. Like they were operating at like military like status. Like there was like signals, and they were on point with their timing. Yeah, exactly. They were just on point. And I was actually really impressed with Rick's group because none of them really have, except for Rosita, have military training.
Speaking of which, where was Rosita?
She was healing. They showed her.
She was shot in her shoulder. They showed her for like a minute.
Oh, did they show her?
Yeah.
It was just like a second
Literally
shot.
a second. But
And I think this was also when Judith was playing with the chalk, though. So.
Yes, yeah. But apparently
it.
because of, what's her face, the actress that plays Rosita, her name is escaping me right now, because she just had a child or is about to have a child, they're not going to show her, the producer said they're not going to show her for the beginning of season 8 that much. Christian Serrata, she's so hot, I love her. But yeah, I feel like they're not going to show her in the beginning. There's probably like little specks like that just to show that she's okay, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of her.
Interesting. Okay. But yeah, so I think that's to answer the question, will they lose some of their humanity? I believe they will.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it ruins them. I think it just changes them. I think they evolve into a new kind of living, and that's what next season will be about.
Yeah.
But this season's going to be about violence, and we're definitely going to lose people.
Yeah.
And there's definitely going to be some hard moments in there. So let's continue kind of going through some of the characters. We didn't, again, get a lot of moments. We did have another group, which was Morgan, Carol, Tara, just 3 of them?
And Morgan, Daryl, Tara, and Carol.
Oh, Daryl. Yeah. And they were over sort of on this like little bridge setting a trap. Daryl, very adept at the one-handed shooting of bombs on a motorcycle.
Of course.
Like, sweet.
Do we expect anything less from Daryl, you guys?
Shot around a walker.
Yeah.
He bent that bullet, you guys.
He's literally driving. He's looking back, and he's shooting left-handed while moving.
Yeah.
And he doesn't miss a single shot. He also shoots his crossbow and like hits the tire of a bike with like a note on the.
Yeah.
Very impressed. I mean, I guess he is like a hunter.
And he's had a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Throughout, the 8 seasons.
And let's be honest, guys. Like, he's kind of an action hero. Like, that's what this is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, of course.
So I've never gotten to do Walking Dead show with you guys. Do each of you have distinctly a favorite 1 or 2 characters?
Oh, Michonne is completely my favorite character.
100%?
100%.
Got
She's
it.
my ride or die chick.
You love Michonne.
Yep. If anything happened, I ride if anything happens to Michonne. I walk off the set, so I will.
Wow, okay.
I love Michonne. She's awesome. I also have a soft spot for Enid.
Oh, really?
I think she's like
She's
her
obnoxious.
Thank you, Ben. I'm on
I have
the
a
same
soft
page as
spot
Ben.
for her.
Even after like her whole history thing, I still thought she was obnoxious.
I think she's smart.
Okay. Yeah.
She's a survivor, and I like that.
JSS.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I kind of have a soft spot for Maggie. I've noticed.
I love
Over
Maggie as
time.
well.
Yeah.
Love Lauren. On Fear, for the first 2 years, we used to do a segment called Carol Watch at the end of every episode. Because like everybody knows Carol is the best character of the show has ever produced.
Is.
She's like perhaps the best character on television. Because like how many middle-aged women get to just be like straight up commandos on TV? Like, it doesn't really happen.
Let's not forget her back history of like an abusive like woman. Like she's come
amazing.
so far. I feel like the writers have gone slack on her a little bit. I need them to give her some more like crazy writing because I miss Carol.
Yeah, like Rambo Carol was my favorite. Like around the time that there was like when she shows up and then she breaks him out with the rifle.
Yeah.
And then the scenes when the village gets attacked.
Yeah.
And she's just murdering fools.
Yeah.
And she's got the
W and she goes straight rogue and just is like.
There's all these great memes online of just like
Yes.
Stallone body with Carol's head.
Oh, and let us not forget Lizzie. Look at the flowers. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
There's so many memes of that.
No, okay.
Yeah.
So Carol in this show has the most character development. And
By
I think
far.
she's gone
Yeah.
through the most, which I think is why we needed her to kind of have a step back and
Stop dominating the show.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I kind of agree. I need some more warrior Carol
definitely.
for this war, and I think she'll have some good moments.
Good.
But so yeah, the 4 of them on the bridge, kind of hanging out, and a couple things. First of all, Keith is still gone. He never showed back up. He went to go star in 24, then it got canceled. So maybe he'll show back up now.
Maybe.
Or maybe he'll do movies. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have that side of things, and then we have the fact that Dwight is like 100% clearly on the team now.
Yeah.
We didn't get a lot of moments, but we did get at least like the one moment where he steps away, right, and he lets the 2 guys get taken out.
Well,
Yeah.
and he's the one who receives the letter on the arrow from
Right.
Daryl. So
And then doesn't he send a letter back, and that's how
He
they got the
does.
list
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I was a little unclear about that. I'm pretty sure it was him, but then I was just like, was it?
Right. I liked that Rick has his moment where he's like addressing each of the lieutenants, and he's like, "You can only survive, if you do this now."
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of like Luke talking to Jabba and Jedi. This is your last chance, Jabba. Free us or die.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's a great moment. And then I also like that he starts counting down. He starts shooting at 7. Yeah. Which I would have done the same thing.
Yes,
too.
yes. Because you're just preparing them. You're just literally giving them a moment to take you out. And he's like, no, wait, never mind.
Yeah, because at this point, it's not about like fair. It's just kill them and take over.
Yeah.
And the takeover was pretty savage. It was pretty good. The big truck goes and blows up. Rick's just trying to just take out Negan. Why did Negan run outside though? I was trying to figure that one out.
I think he was.
I think he was dodging bullets.
Okay.
And that's why he went to the left for him.
Gotcha.
And they all kind of just ducked down and went inside. But he was, I think, the target originally with the gunfire. And so he jumped off the platform.
Okay. But so we've got, they start taking him out, like explosions all over the place, and then Gabriel tries to save Gregory. It's like, what are you doing, man? You even say, thank God, and he says, yeah, whatever. Like, come on!
It's so
Who
funny.
are you?
It's so funny because I was reading like the blogs of The Walking Dead and everything, and they were talking about, Father Gabriel, and they were saying how he got so much better, and now I'm like, he's reverting back to his annoying self, where everybody was like, I just want you to die.
Daryl hates him. He's his number one hated character on the show.
I think he's a lot of people's. I just feel like if we're going to talk about character arc and how Carol has had the biggest character arc, he has had the weakest. Because he literally, I honestly don't know what to say. He's exactly the same.
Yeah.
As when we first met him.
Yeah.
He's a little bit tougher.
My least favorite was definitely Spencer. Or he was the son, right? Spencer?
Yeah.
Spencer.
Yeah, he gets gutted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely talked a lot of smack about that dude. He was just too handsome to be in the position that he was in, acting the way he was.
Well, he was a little weasel too, and I feel like they can't
Big
have
time.
2 weasels on the show. They needed it all on Gregory.
Yeah, right. So, all right. So, what else is going on? So he warns them all. They start shooting. What are we forgetting? Anything else major? I feel like is there some more preparation that goes on?
I mean, and I'm just going to go back to how organized they were, but there were so many moving parts to this plan, and that's exactly why my stomach was in my throat, because we have, Walker's trying to set off car bombs, and Morgan trying to go and get the Walker, which we haven't really talked about. Morgan, has his little 180-degree turn.
Oh, yeah.
And he's still on
Yeah.
that, so he hasn't reverted, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, but I think he's still struggling with it.
I think so too.
Because
But at least he's active.
Yeah, he kills the man, and then he kind of is sitting there with his stick.
Yeah. Well, so there's like
Pensive.
the sort of like love triangle, as it were, of Morgan, Ezekiel, and Carol. We didn't get any of it tonight, really. It's not really a love triangle. It's more like they have been teasing Carol and Ezekiel for so long.
I'm all about that.
Yeah, and maybe that one will happen. We didn't get any of it, but I do sort of like that Morgan and Carol became this bound at the hip. They're like this duo. They're kind of like the odd couple or something.
Yeah.
He feels protective of her, and she feels somehow sympathetic to him.
I mean, if you think about it, they were, 2 opposite ends of the spectrum, and opposites attract. So I feel like Morgan and Carol teaming up and finding the middle ground of where they both were is fitting.
Right.
I think it's a good closure to that storyline.
I agree. Yeah, they're definitely. This show is definitely doing what only a couple shows on TV get to do, which is that its major actors are getting to branch out and do bigger and bigger movies.
Yeah.
I mean, Morgan was just in Blade Runner.
Yeah.
He had a pretty notable role in Blade Runner, which is a huge movie, obviously.
Yeah.
So that wasn't. But yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think what we're missing is that they led the Horde.
Right.
Yes.
A lot of explosions, and the whole point was to lead the Horde to
Negan's camp.
To block them in, right?
Yeah.
And so Gabriel, at the end of the episode, ends up in a trailer with Negan, and he uses his shit in pants line again that he says. No F-bomb in the episode, which was, I know I think AMC's allowed now.
They're allowed 3, I think,
In a
throughout the
season.
entire season. So
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense that they want to save it for more
Finale moments.
or just more very important.
Yeah. So Negan has his moment where he's in there. Probably we'll save that for predictions because we want to probably know exactly what's going to happen there. But yeah, definitely. And we had little moments with a lot of the characters. We got a quick moment with Aaron and his man, whose name I always forget every single time I try to remember his name.
Ben? No. No, I'm thinking of you now.
If you guys watch or listen, then you know how bad I am with
Aaron
this.
and
Well, there are a lot of names. So.
He's the name that I forget every single time.
there's Aaron. So scroll
Eric.
down.
Is it Eric?
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
Aaron and Eric. We got their moment where Eric's like, he's like, are you praying? He's like, I always meant to start.
Mm-hmm.
You know, never too late. And then there's the other moment where she's like, I got your back. And he's like, really? We just met. She's like, we all just met.
I love that moment because it was all of the worlds colliding, and I thought
Yeah.
that's exactly. It's a good point for the season to start off because
Yeah.
all of these people are going. I feel like we're going to get reintroduced into new characters, and these characters are going to be from the other communities.
Right.
And I hope that we get attached to some of them because I'm excited for some new characters.
Yeah.
It's also indicative of like a war.
Yeah.
I mean, before World War II, we had our troops mixing with the English troops, and so
French
it's very,
troops
it's
and-
like
yeah.
coming together to do what we've predicted.
Right. Yeah, completely. I mean, it's not like when you go to war with your country, you know the people who are in your unit till you
Right.
meet them. But yeah, so I thought overall, really, really nice episode. I enjoyed a lot of it. Nice 2 memoriam moments at the end to John Bernecker, who I'm assuming is the stuntman who died on set. George Romero is the godfather of zombie
Yes,
lore.
yes.
That's who that was. But I would just have to imagine John Bernecker is the
It
stuntman
is.
that died.
Yeah.
So that was nice to see the shout out there at the end of the episode. I was a little bit bummed out in the post credits next week scene, without getting too specific, just how much it felt like. Okay, so now the war's happening, so now like we're just in it. So
Yeah.
wait for another hour of what's going on with the war, as opposed to like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt a little bit like just continuation of this episode, as opposed to like a distinct different. But we'll see how the episode
It
actually
was an
plays out.
action film promo. That's all
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a teaser for the whole season. It wasn't
Yeah.
like this is what's happening next episode. And like you said, the producers already said that this war is going to be going on all season. So it didn't really surprise me. I do hope that they focus on more characters individually rather than the groups of characters. And I understand why they did it in this first episode,
Right.
but I need them to focus on 1 and 2 people individually and how their relationships have grown after this
Right.
whole event has happened.
What did you guys think about Rick's interaction with Eugene there for a quick second?
The I know you.
Yeah, I know who you are, and he kind of doesn't say I'm gonna kill you. Like, where do you think Eugene ends up?
I feel like we all know, and the group knows, that Eugene does anything to survive, and
Right.
if that includes turning on your own, then he will. I feel like they are indifferent about it. I don't think that they're actually like really upset about it. I feel like the only one who's really upset about it is Rosita because they were, together since like almost day one.
Right, and there's been some romantic tension with the two of them, slightly.
Well, him for her is a little one-sided.
But I would say that enough
Yeah,
romantic
yeah.
tension. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I would assume that yes, he did what he had to survive, but do they know that Eugene gave Sasha the...
How could they, right?
Right,
I don't think
yeah,
anybody can
so-
know that.
I think Negan
Unless-
suspects.
Unless, what is his name? The guy who's on our side now.
Dwight
Dwight.
Yeah.
Unless he somehow...
relayed the message.
Yeah.
I don't even think that Eugene knows that Dwight is on the good guy's
I don't
side.
think so
Which is a
either.
good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that
I think-
doesn't mean that
Yeah.
Dwight doesn't know or suspect.
Totally. And Dwight's lady, well, his ex-lady, she took off.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen her, right?
Yeah.
She's officially still out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe she and Keith have found a spot and they're holed up or something like that.
Do you think they'll make a reappearance this season?
One of the two of them for sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
I think it's going to be
Girl.
the girlfriend rather than Keith because I feel like
Yeah.
Keith is going to bite the dust, and that's why she comes back.
I like kind of desperately have wanted Dwight and her name, who's it's not in front of me, but I've kind of wanted the two of them for like a long time to rekindle the romance. 'Cause
Dwight and
his ex, who was
oh
with
yeah,
Negan.
yeah.
Again, I just don't have the names written down in front of me. And it's been a little while, but I loved like the episode last season when he goes to meet her at the house and she writes him the letter.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there crying, eating the potato chips and drinking the beer. It was so sad. It was
Yeah.
so sad, but it was one of my favorite moments. It kind of made me like just desperately want the two of them to.
Do you like Dwight as a good guy, or do you like him as a bad guy?
I like him. I just like him in his journey that he's on now. I think he's like on a good path. I like. Do you guys slightly feel like he is just like a less handsome handsome Ryan Gosling?
No.
Not at all?
No.
I feel like you...
Not even without the burnt face.
I feel like you take the burnt face
No,
off.
no.
He kind of looks like he's just a slightly longer Ryan Gosling to me.
Oh, I can see where you're coming
Okay,
from. A little bit,
no?
yeah.
No, 100% disagreement. No Ryan Gosling here. Nope.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so I think that's pretty much the episode overall. If there's anything that we missed specifically, guys, I apologize. This episode was definitely not laid out in a way that was particularly conducive to sort of beat-by-beat moments. It was just like one big moment.
Yeah.
And we will definitely be covering lots next week. So let's get into predictions before we get out of here.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Ooh, it's a new predictions
that was
thing.
weird.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
new
No
one.
lights, no seizure lights, no nothing, man.
Sweet. So yeah, let's start with the big one, which is that what the hell's going to happen with Gabriel and Negan? They're locked in a trailer together, and Negan's got a bat.
Well, Negan tends to, and this is exactly what he tried to do with Sasha. He tries
Gabriel's
to
got
use.
a gun.
I was gonna say, wait a second.
I mean, we're not even gonna. I
Don't
can't.
bring a
I
bat
can't.
to a
I just can't.
gunfight.
I can't. The fact that he didn't even just shoot him just there is just. I can't. I feel like Negan likes to use people to get to the other group, and that's exactly what he's going to do with Gabriel. He likes to play people chess, and he's going to use Gabriel to his advantage.
Yeah.
I don't know how the group is going to I don't think they will react as strongly to him having Gabriel as he would have if he had Sasha.
Right.
Which is why Sasha took it upon herself to take herself out, because she knew how much leverage she had. Whereas Gabriel, I feel like they'd be like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he's just one of the... maybe that's because we just don't like him.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know how he's going to fit into this whole thing. Because the camp is down.
Right.
So Negan's on his knees right now. Or one knee. We'll see how he gets back up.
Yeah.
Potentially, it'll come to Gabriel having to make a tough decision that might challenge his views of the world. And I don't think he's not going to kill Negan. There's no way that's going to happen.
I wouldn't let that happen.
But I do think that he'll be challenged to potentially either take himself out as Sasha did, or pick a side, like allow himself to die for Negan or work for Negan.
I think Negan buddies up to Gabriel inside the trailer, and I think he acts like his friend to work together to get out of the situation together. Because I think that's kind of Negan's like a total sociopath, and he's super charismatic.
Yep.
And I think he'll be able to kind of convince and sway Gabriel a little bit to be his buddy to get out.
Yeah.
And then he'll totally stab him in the back.
Of course. He's
Yeah.
one of the best written characters on television. Or the best written villains, because
Yeah.
you just hate him, but you love him.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
He's great. So yeah, that would be my major prediction for next week. And then my other, I think, major one is what I was saying before, just that I really do think that we're going to see, those are the three beats, and that is a flash forward, and so that's my guess.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Anything else from you guys?
No, I think I'm good with it. It's always hard to predicting stuff, especially after this first episode, because things are
so much.
They
so
set
up
up
in the
so
air
many
right now
things,
that
yeah.
I need some things to land before I'm like, okay, I want to throw this out there.
Right.
Also, like you, I'm not up to date with the comics because I don't like to read too far ahead because
Yeah.
of things. But I don't want to say anything that might spoil anything. You know what I mean?
So you are mostly up to date then?
I'm mostly up to date. I stopped because I don't like reading them up and past, because then I tend to just
okay.
say things and I'm like, oh wait, now, because I know, you know what I mean?
As soon as we sign off, we'll do a little 30-second
Yes.
comic book spoiler. Sorry to ruin everything for you, co-host.
It's all good. Go for it.
We'll be vague enough. But I think that pretty much does it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening and coming back. This is Walking Dead Weekly, and I think probably we covered a bit of news and things that the producers have been saying on here.
Yeah.
Probably going to do more of the same next week. We'll have a full panel. We're going to have some great guests coming on this season. And if you guys want to follow along with any one of us, where can the folks find you?
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. I am Timothy Michael. You can find me everywhere at I am Timothy Mike. I am Timothy Mike.
And I'm Natalee Dyer, and you can find me at Natalee Dyer on all social media platforms. That's NATALEEDYER. I'm also on a D&D podcast called Welcome to the Dungeon Hole, which you can find us on SoundCloud.
And I'm Ben Bateman. You guys can find me at Ben Bateman Media, Twitter, Instagram. You can find me every Wednesday here on the Popcorn Talk Network, talking action movies on Action Movie Anatomy, and the Riverdale Show on Wednesdays. Stay tuned for just one more minute after this. We're going to do a little spoiler breakdown of comic books for you guys. So big spoiler alert right now. Everybody turn off your iPhones, your iPads, whatever, your YouTubes.
Computers.
Just don't listen if you don't want to have anything spoiled for you right
Yeah.
now. And get out of here, and we're just going to ramble for about 60 seconds.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, to this is on you now if you stick around. All right. So there is a huge time jump in the comics,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like, are you to that point already?
I am almost there. I've heard about it, obviously, because a lot of my friends read the comics.
Right.
I am at issue 114 right now, and that literally, this is them going to war. So I'm in the war right now.
So I'm like probably 6 months to a year behind, I'd say.
Okay.
And it gets really interesting in the time jump period.
Uh-huh.
But basically, I don't think the time jump in the
Wait,
comics.
what issue are you on? Do you know?
I just read it in the books.
Oh, okay.
So I
okay.
don't know, but yeah, I mean, basically, it mimics what we saw, right?
Mm-hmm.
The cane is a flash forward. His leg gets screwed up in the war. That's what it is.
Okay.
It's different in the comics with the daughter. So in the comics, she's gone way, way, way early. So they do something different in the show. So that's not parallel at all. And then there's a whole plot line that, if you do keep reading, gets really interesting. And it is kind of what we talk about, that it takes us to kind of a new world and a new way of things working.
Right.
Which is, I kind of think, what they're going to try to do with the show.
Yeah.
The difference, though, obviously, is that it's going to be difficult for them to actually keep this cast together for many more seasons. I don't think they're going to... I don't think the characters are going to show that many more seasons.
No, I mean, it's in Atlanta. It's hot. It's taxing. Just a little. I just have to geek out for a second, just because you do read the comic books and I can talk about it. I thought for a second, I don't like Michonne and Rick together, and as you know in the comics, she's with
Andrea,
Ezekiel.
right.
And I feel like I feel like maybe that could be a love triangle at some point.
Interesting.
Maybe. But then he's like with Carol, and I'm like, I don't know how I like that either.
He's
like,
not really with Carol, but I think that's the
But
direction they're going to go. But I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear
so
you completely.
We'll see. I have to catch up to where you are apparently.
Now I feel like I need to read the
They're great.
comics.
It's totally
They're
worth
really
it.
good.
Okay.
The characters are like, there's characters that are on now that have been gone in the comic books, and there are people in the comic books that have died that are still around.
There's like distinctly 5 points of difference between the comic and the show that are like very notable. We'll cover it another one because we have to get out of here.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Okay.
listening. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.